Welcome to LSB Feaster's radio channel and travel corner, where our mission in life is keeping great radio from the past alive. Today we're going to Chicago and the Big 89 WLS. It was probably the most popular radio station in the Midwest back in the 60s, 70s, into the 80s. It was ABC's powerhouse top 40 station. And the DJs that worked at this station were legendary. Larry Lujack, Tommy Edwards, Bob Sirott, Fred Winston, who else? Joel Sebastian, Chuck Napp, Art Roberts, Dick Biondi, John Records Landecker, Chuck Buell. I mean, I could literally go on and on. They were that good. This Aircheck features one of the very few female and African-American jocks at WLS. I'm talking about the legendary Yvonne Daniels. Yvonne came to WLS back in 1973, and she was the first female air personality that was ever on WLS. Now, Yvonne worked at several stations, including WYNR, WCFL during its jazz days, and WSDM-FM before getting the call to go to WLS. On the air, Yvonne was great. She was tight, she was brief, she was lively, and she could compete with the big boys on WLS. And what was cool about her shift was she was on in the middle of the night, so she could be heard across much of the country doing that overnight shift. She was at WLS for 8 years before moving down the dial to WVON, which became WGCI, and later she went on to WNUA. Sadly, Yvonne passed on back in 1991 at age 54, so young. If you like this air check, thank you so much. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel too if you like. And after you do, smack that bell. And you will be notified whenever we post anything new. All right, let's go back to the 1970s now with Yvonne Daniels on the Big 89 WLS Chicago.
And prize, Life on Easy Street from WLS.
And you could win this particular prize and qualify for the grand prize drawing if Larry Lujack reads your name this morning at 7:45. Keep listening because you might be well on your way to a year on Easy Street from WLS. WLS Music Radio 330. Another touch tone coming up in a matter of minutes now, giving away ELO's just released greatest hits album on WLS. Saturday Night Fever music, Avant Element, but Can't Have You.
I don't want nobody, baby. Can't have you.
WLS Music Radio out of Chicago. You can win tickets to see Gilda Radner at the Erie Crown Theater. Listen for a chance starting at 10 this morning with Tommy Edwards. We'll have a touch tone coming up for you in minutes.
Playback celebrates its 8th anniversary with famous moments in electronics history. Italy, 1781. Luigi Galvani, hard at work in his laboratory, discovers the electrical current.
I've just discovered the electrical current.
Great. Now will you fix the toaster?
Oh, don't you realize what this means to all mankind? No more brushing your teeth by hand. We've got to celebrate.
I'll get the champagne.
Hey, I have a great idea. I'll go to Playback. They're having their 8th anniversary sale, and we can use my new discovery on a Project One Adobe cassette deck, and it's only $149. That's a 25% off. What a deal.
Come into Playback and help them celebrate their 8th anniversary by getting super deals on everything, only at Playback.
Well, I got it. All we gotta do is plug it into the wall socket. Wall socket. I forgot to invent a wall socket.
Playback, the electronic playback.
When you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. But when you brew a beer twice, you've got a great light beer. A great light beer called Old Style from God's country. Heileman's Old Style is brewed in a traditional old world way called krausening. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. But Heileman has been brewing beer this way since we first opened our doors back in 1853. Krausening is what makes Old Style the great light beer it is today. Taste the difference Krausening makes. Try old style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Hardeman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
People use our money to get the most out of life.
Make home improvements now. Save money year after year. Do it with an energy-saving homeowner loan from HFC. Save money by using less fuel and get a nice warm feeling. Check out the energy-saving homeowner loan of up to $10,000 from Household Finance, an equal opportunity lender.
Come on into HFC.
For your information, this is Jim Johnson. With darkness coming earlier and earlier, we've all heard of the dangers it brings for young people walking home from school or after-school activities in the dark or near dark, or those out playing and riding bikes in the dark. You should dress your children in light-colored clothing, put reflective tape on the back of dark jackets or on bikes. But now it's been pointed out that many adults taking up the current jogging fad are also endangered. Not only do cars and cyclists pose a threat, but you can't always see the ruts, cracks in sidewalks, tree roots, and curbs, and they can all lead to bad falls. So it's wise, if you run at night, to know your course very well. Never assume that drivers or bike riders can see you. Get out of their way. Stop at all intersections and watch out for driveways. It's polite to warn pedestrians if you're running up behind them. If possible, run with a companion and use well-lighted routes. Finally, put reflective tape on your clothes and let someone know the course you're running, so they'll know where to look for you if you don't show up on time. This is Jim Johnson.
Music Radio, WLS.
15th caller at 591-3089, area 312, is going to win a copy of ELO's new greatest hits album. WLS Music Radio 341 got a winner. Talk to David Lee. He lives in Remington, Indiana. David just won his copy of ELO's just released greatest hits album furnished by CBS Records. We'll have another chance for you to try to win on Music Radio, so hang on in there. Don't go too far. WLS Music Radio with another Easy Street bonus day, Thursday. Today, we'll be naming Easy Street qualifiers all day long, starting at 7 o'clock this morning, so make sure you're listening. Lots of prizes being given away. You might be well on your way to a year on Easy Street from Music Radio.
Tom Raslowski of Hinsdale won a new 1980 Ford Mustang furnished by Dave Corey Ford, the Midwest's four-wheel drive capital.
I really can't believe it. It's just amazing.
What's even more incredible is that Tom is now eligible for the grand prize of everything else that makes up life on Easy Street.
Fantastic. It's really unbelievable.
The very same thing is happening to other people, and it could happen to you. So send your name, age, address, and home and work phone numbers to WLS Easy Street, Box 11089, Chicago 60611. Then listen for your name. First, you win part of it, and then qualify for all of it. 10 incredible prizes, like $2,500 in home furnishings, furnished by John M. Smith, Chicago's largest furniture store, or $3,000 worth of free groceries. That happens to be what Judy Naumer of Palos Hills won.
I invested in a $10 radio. And I had it next to my machine here at work, and I kept, I play it all the time, and I heard my name. I tell you, I just about fainted.
You could win, too, from Music Radio.
There's nothing quite like it. It's called a Navarone Disco. It's in Elk Grove Village. It's a world of its own, drawing you with a creative, hypnotic display of lights, stimulating every part of your very existence by the electronic effects produced by 7 computers. Filling your musical need, too, with a clear, powerful, yet perfectly focused disco sound. It won't let you go. It's the Navarone Disco, built into the Navarone Entertainment Complex in Elk Grove Village at a cost of over $500,000. The Navarone, created for the unordinary, the sophisticated adult, seeking entertainment that approaches the ultimate. Navarone, brainchild of the McGlarris brothers, who've maintained a good reputation. They've been providing the northwest suburbs with the foremost of nighttime entertainment for 9 years. Proper dress is required. Stop by any Tuesday through Saturday during the Navarone's Get Acquainted Hour. That's 5 till 8, and you can enjoy free orders. The Navarone Disco, suburban disco bordering on the sharp edge of perfection. Located at Route 83 and Higgins Road in Elk Grove Village. Navarone Disco.
Hear the sound coming through, sweet and clear, just for you. Pure and fine all the time, that I promise to you. Hear the sound, pure delight. Can there be any doubt? We'll scotch
Let's say you've just recorded some dynamite music. Now comes the moment of truth. Will you get all the true, pure sound out that went in? You will with Scotch cassettes. You see, Scotch is designed with the same kind of care that went into the other components of your system to give you all the performance your stereo can deliver. So remember, when you want that true, pure sound, no tape comes closer to the truth than Scotch.
Scotch brand recording tapes are available at Service Merchandise Catalog showrooms. True Value Hardware stores can help you pull your own weight. They're offering you the ACO 12-foot utility chain. It's $10.88. Features 5/16" low-carbon steel links and drop-forged grab and slip hooks to securely tow your car. Or you could use it to hold down logs, pipes, lumber, or other large items. Plus, the ACO 12-foot utility chain from True Value Hardware stores can be used as a safety chain if you have to tow heavy farm equipment, boats, and trailers. You could be prepared for highway emergencies. Keep an ACO 12-foot utility chain in your car trunk. Could be helpful for pulling your car out of mud or snow this winter. And right now, the rugged, versatile ACO 12-foot utility chain with grab and slip hooks is only $10.88 at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
True Value Hardware, it's more than just a name. It's our way of doing business that beats True Value. The best music, WLS.
It's 40 degrees right now. We're not going to reach that low of 36, but a high later today of 52 in Chicago. On the first. WLS Music Radio out of Chicago, 352. The RTA and CTA can now answer questions and solve problems concerning public transportation. In the city, you just call 836-7000. If you happen to live in the suburbs, call 800-972-7000. Fleetwood Mac and Tusk. WLS Music Radio at 3:55. A big break may be in the offing in the Iran situation. Bob Conway reports.
There are reports this morning that some of the hostages who have been held inside the U.S. Embassy in Iran for the past 11 days may soon be released. CBS News quotes a high Iranian government official as saying that women and blacks will be freed, but that white male hostages will continue to be held. And in Tehran, newsman Peter Jennings says he has received similar information.
ABC News has been told by a senior member of the Revolutionary Council here that women who are hostages in the American embassy will be released within the next couple of days. Mr. Ghazpazadeh gave no reason for their reported release, but the news came in a discussion of the hostages' welfare. They have complained about their treatment, Mr. Ghazpazadeh said, and he mentioned particularly the fact that they are sometimes blindfolded. Mr. Ghazpazadeh said any mistreatment would be stopped immediately. The youths who are occupying the embassy have said repeatedly they will take no instructions which don't come directly from Ayatollah Khomeini. Mr. Ghazpazadeh, the director of Iranian radio and television, has been a close aide of the Ayatollah since he was in exile. There are believed to be 7 women who are hostages.
In Washington, the State Department says it has contacted the U.S. Embassy but has not been able to confirm or deny those reports that some of the hostages are going to be freed. Meanwhile, the U.S. has been moving toward a tougher stand on the Iranian situation. Secretary of State Vance has flown to New York to urge that the United Nations Security Council not hold a meeting which Iran wants and not consider Iranian demands for an international tribunal to indict the Shah and force his extradition. Last night, the administration recalled Special Envoy Ramsey Clark, who'd been sent to negotiate with the Iranians. He'd been waiting in Turkey because the Iranians had refused to see him. And there are reports surfacing now that the deposed Shah may leave the U.S. for Mexico as soon as 10 days from now. In some other news this morning, the Ralph Nader Health Research Group is charging that a government study shows the lenses which some cataract patients have been getting to save their sight can be dangerous. Dr. Sidney Wolf of the Nader Health Research Group says that one type, known as the interocular lens, is especially suspect.
There are problems with how well it corrects the vision, problems with dangers of it leading to reoperation, and yet it is being widely mass-marketed in a way that really makes guinea pigs out of a lot of senior citizens.
Dr. Wolf claims that some of the plastic lenses do not improve the vision of cataract victims as much as they should, and that sharp edges on some of those lenses actually pose a threat to sight. Striking teachers in the Argo Summit District number 104 have approved a new one-year contract and will be back in their classes today. A spokesman says the teachers voted 52-4 last night to accept that contract, which gives them an 8.5% salary increase. Students had been out of classes since October 24th in the district. Reports are that at least 8 of the 16 days which have been missed will be made up. Chicago School Superintendent Joe Hannon continues to meet with officials of 2 major banks in an effort to bail the school district out of a financial crisis. Hannon met yesterday with officials of the Continental Bank and the First National Bank of Chicago in hopes of obtaining $120 million in loans. Those negotiations will be resumed today. The crisis began on Tuesday when the Moody's Investors Service dropped the district's credit rating to the lowest possible level. Financial experts say that move made it likely that the school district will not be able to sell more than $120 million in notes next week to pay off some debts. Congress is considering aid to financially ailing Chrysler Corporation. The administration proposes $1.5 billion in loan guarantees. A House Banking Committee vote is expected on that proposal to make Chrysler set up a stock option plan for employees. But a Chrysler official says this could dilute the company's stock, making it less saleable. The president's bill to contain hospital cost increases goes to the House floor today. The measure would set guidelines for increases in hospital expenditures. If a hospital exceeds the guidelines, mandatory federal controls would be placed on its charges for some services. Officials in the city of Winooski, Vermont, say they are seriously considering putting a plastic dome over their entire town. That dome would have to cover an area of 850 acres. Winooski's Director of Community Development, Mark Tigan, explains why.
It's been inspired by the idea that consultants have suggested there's upwards of 90% fuel savings possible over a year, over a basis of a year. It's also been inspired by the scare given the Northeast in terms of availability of fuel oil.
Tigan says that a dome over Winooski, Vermont is still a long way off. It's still subject to further study, especially as far as cost and construction methods are concerned. WLS Sports in the NBA last night. The Bulls were beaten by Washington 118-105. At the stadium, Vancouver beat the Blackhawks 5-2. WLS weather after this.
Crippled children and adults are able to rebuild their lives with the help of Easter Seals. But Easter Seals can accomplish only what you make possible. Give to the Easter Seals.
WLS, getting it set for Chicago.
WLS weather, cloudy and warmer this morning, partly sunny and warmer later today, a high of 52. Right now, the WLS temperature, 40 degrees. This is Bob Conway.
Music Radio WLS.